Why some women become more attractive with age. Hey guys, have you ever noticed that society often tells women that aging means becoming less visible, less desirable, and less valuable? Look, you over the hill now. You don't have much to offer because you're beyond child rearing years, and you're only going to start going to look older and older and older. Who wants to hang out with an old woman, right? Who wants to be saddled with an old woman? You can't do much for me, right? This is the deal, though. A lot of women are discovering something surprising in midlife. They're actually becoming more attractive. Now, one powerhouse woman I immediately thought of when I saw this one, when I wanted to do the research on this topic, was Michelle Obama. I mean, she was beautiful as first lady. She's still as beautiful now. And what is actually more surprising to me is that, she's 20 years older and looks like she hadn't aged a day. And I had to think about that. That's why I said I wanted to do some research on it. And this is probably what is going on with Michelle Obama and probably other women like her who seems to be either frozen, like they haven't aged a day in the last 40 years, or they're aging in reverse, right? One of the things they're doing is that they're not trying harder to maintain their youthfulness. They're not doing all of that. They're not going to the cosmetic aisles and buying up all of the, skin regimens to keep their skin youthful, right? They're not, having all this different plastic surgery to make themselves continue to look younger, continue to stay, young looking, right? Basically, they just learn to accept themselves for who they are, right? Because think about it. A lot of us, now not everybody, because I know some heavy hitters out there that are really rolling in the gym, right? But a lot of us lost our perfect bodies a long time ago and struggling to attain it again, because what we come to realize, it takes 4 times as much effort to look that size than to become smaller again than when we were younger. If we wanted to lose 3-4 pounds in one day, that was like whatever, I've done it. And now it's a struggle, right? But anyway, we just learn to accept ourselves who they are, because what that does, it is reflected in your personality. It is reflected in how you view the world, how you express yourself. If you are comfortable in your skin, if you're okay with this body, you're not afraid to go out and have fun. You're not concerned about, oh, they're gonna body shame me. You don't care anything about that. Look, you're already in midlife, okay? You've seen a lot. You've been on earth for a lot of years, and you don't let that kind of stuff worry you anymore. You're just out there trying to have a good time, right? But here's what I do know. I always write some things down too. There's something incredibly attractive about a woman who knows herself. That's what I'm saying. You know who you are. You know your flaws, your weaknesses. You also embrace your strengths. Right? You embrace all of that, but you also identify, okay, this is my flaw, right? This is what I need to work on, right? A woman who is no longer desperately seeking validation is a confident woman, okay? A woman who has developed wisdom through life experience is a confident woman. Yeah, she was like, okay, I've seen this. I know what works for me. I know what doesn't work for me. And I'm okay with that, right? A woman who understands her boundaries. Know when to speak, when not to speak, where events she should attend, the things she shouldn't attend, when she should add her 2 cents and when not to, and not even worry about some of the stuff. Like, because the biggest thing is she's attained peace. My peace over drama. I got some peace right now. I have peace, right? Authenticity. Take me for how I am with all my flaws and all. This is me. Okay, I'm not trying to pretend I'm something I'm not, right? And self-respect, right? You're going to exude who you are. You're not afraid of showing who you are, but you also have a lot of respect for yourself. You're going to carry yourself like a lady, and that's what you do. Because see what it does, confidence changes people. It changes how you interact with each other. It changes how people see you, how people accept you, right? And be authentic about who you are. Don't pretend you're something that you are not. Be authentic about who you are, what you can do, what you cannot do, right? Be authentic about that. Confidence in midlife often looks different than confidence in youth. And that's what I want you guys to understand, because we have that life experience. So that's compounded onto all the other stuff that's been going on in our lives. So we know there's some benefit to being quiet, or we're quieter about things, right? More grounded and more authentic. You don't have time for all that drama, right? You are being your authentic self. A lot of women stop performing, they stop pretending, and stop shrinking themselves for acceptance. Now, there are a lot of us out here that want to have a significant other in our lives. We probably had that in the past, or maybe not, not to the degree that we want. But we've also learned to love ourselves. So we know that if ever the time comes around that, hey, somebody is in my life, this is great, they are going to get the authentic you, not the polished you or the altered you. They're going to get you, and like I said, embrace your weaknesses and your strength. They're going to get all of that with you, right? Ironically too, authenticity often makes them even more magnetic. And that's what I mentioned before. I'm just who I am, right? I am who I am. I've seen, back is itching. People become famous because they were just their authentic selves on social media, on YouTube. They were just their authentic selves. I love it, I don't know where my channel's going to go. I mean, I do these videos, though, to share my knowledge with people, not for fame and fortune. So I just want to make that clear. I do these videos because I find they're energizing to me. I have a lot of knowledge about things, right? And I like to share that with others, right? So here's another thing too. Like I said, I write down a lot of stuff. Emotionally intelligence also becomes incredibly attractive with age. You're just grounded, like, I'm good. I don't need to share anything. I don't need to prove anything to anybody. We understand when we should admit when we were wrong about things, or when we're being accused of something we know we didn't do. I'm like, I can't do anything about that. The ability to communicate clearly, too, is heightened at this age as well. We know how to handle conflicts maturely. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and argue with you, right? We create emotional safety nets is what we do, too, because we always want to protect our peace. That's what we're always seeking to do. I'm protecting my peace, okay? These qualities matter deeply in mature relationships. If I rattle off any of those things that seems to resonate with you and your relationship, then you already know you are in a grounded, mature relationship, right? So a lot of women begin to finally embrace themselves fully after years of self-criticism. I was watching YouTube the other day, and they were saying, skinny is in. I guess we didn't get them that, but not saying that being thin. Not that ain't what they were talking about. They were talking about where you can actually see someone's skeletons and stuff like that. And generally, people at our age don't tend to, harp on that as much because we are okay just the way we are. But if you are dealing with some type of eating disorder or body dysmorphic disorder, then it's probably time to get some counseling for that. There are some counselors that can help you with that, right? So for these women that seem to never age or aging backwards, the self-acceptance radiates outwards, and so that's why they tend to be more attractive at this age, right? Because what you're presenting, I don't think a lot of people understand this. Attraction is not necessarily how you physically look. It's also your presence, how you present yourself. If you present yourself confidently, right? If you are warm and greeting people, let me hug, right? And your wisdom. Wisdom is attractive to people. I told you that was one of my themes when I find wisdom very attractive in people. That's what I'm attracted to, wisdom, right? So what I want you guys to understand is that midlife is not the end of attraction. Even your golden years is not the end of attraction, right? For many women, it is the beginning of becoming fully themselves. I can finally show you the world who I really am. I have to be judged to somebody's airbrush standard. I am who I want to be, and I'm happy with it, right? And hey, this is what I want you guys to understand too. There's nothing more powerful than that, okay? So, got a couple of things I would love for you to do. If you are feeling this message, I would love for you to type power up in the comments section. Please follow me along this journey, guys. Like and subscribe. I am working on doing I guess a dual video. I don't know if we're going to do like a Zoom and film it and show it to you guys, but I want to do a video with a male, so we can have the ladies' perspectives, the male's perspective, and share that with you guys. You guys comment on it. I am waiting for him to let me know he's going to be available because hey, I'm fine, right? But I do understand that he's pretty busy, so that's fine. I mean, I'm not pressuring anybody. He wanted to be on my show channel, and so I just thought that was just awesome to hear, and I definitely want him on my channel as well. But anyway, guys, it has been my pleasure, and as always, guys, when we signing off on this channel, we always say that we are aging boldly. You guys have a good one.